What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of StreamKey. We have Pimz today as a guest, and he's going to talk about some really cool stuff that he was talking about last time. But yeah, Pimz, thanks for being on the show, man. Good to have you. How you doing?
Doing good. I'm glad to be back, though. I'm feeling a little attacked this morning, I'll be honest.
Yeah, ever since the call first started, Pimz has kind of been just like attacking us, and we don't really know why. We've been really kind of like, we're always super nice to our guests, but he's just getting like really defensive over nothing. I don't know about it, dude. What do you think, Dogg?
Man, I don't know. I'm just saying.
He's like, I'm just here. I don't want any part of this.
This is above my pay grade. Okay.
That's true. That's true. Good answer. You get to stay. All right. But yeah, so welcome everybody to another episode of StreamKey. We're at episode 162. That's fucking crazy, to be honest. So yeah, Saki's kid, make sure to ask us that question. We'll get right to it, man. But yeah, Pimz, talk to us a little bit about what we were talking about last time with how can you develop something for people / you to stand for.
Yeah, so last time we talked a bunch about building community and a lot of the steps that go into kind of the off Twitch side of things. And one of the questions that came up there was, how do I come up with something that I can put into words that my community can use as like it's almost like it's like a catchphrase, and like there's behaviors that are grounded around it. So for my clan, we tend to spout do better, be better, which in words it's like, yeah, everybody says do better. A lot of streamers have be better as their stuff, but it's like, how do you define what that means for your community? And so it's actually a very, very like involved process. We spent weeks with the entirety of my mod team, just like hundreds of messages a day in our chat, all kinds of conversations with our community, talking about what does this mean, because originally, and this is kind of one of the better sources for it, it started with a meme that one of our like top admins had during a D&D game that we all just kind of were like quoting regularly, and it started to have some meaning, and we went, okay, so just do better. What does that mean, right? And it's like, well, it means always be pushing yourself in some measure, right? To be to do better at the things you enjoy. So like for me, it's like getting better at comms in Siege, knowing what call out is what. There's still one call out that we can't quite figure out. Someone said Tetris on Villa, and I'm like, I've never heard that before. We Googled, couldn't find it. Bad example of good words. And so we spent time like figuring out how to actually describe that and put it into a couple of sentences. And then we've figured, this is through that process, we discovered that it actually only covers some of the only like part of the equation, and we want part of that is actually like being a better person, which is where the be better part comes from. And so there's this whole conversation that you have to have with your key players in your communities, right? Like so for me, it's my mods. My mods, I have a few different roles within the moderators. We have a few kind of like very, very active community members that were part of the conversation, and we essentially had to figure out how to how to make this something that was simple and easy to remember. How to make it something we can actually act on. So we actually wrote out in our server rules, there is a sentence for each of them. So for our do better, we actually define it as living and supporting others in a way that provides value and meaning for everyone involved. And yeah, it is actually very much like a call to arms or a battle cry for us. Just kind of feeding off chat. Like it's a call to action, a CTA. And then so just continuing on there, for be better, we say very simply, very, very concisely, find ways to grow and improve compared to who you were yesterday, which I think is the overwhelming thing for growth for a lot of people. Is they're like, well, when I was 12 and I didn't know shit about the world, I was kind of a bad person. And it's like, no shit, you were 12 and didn't know shit about the world.
Right.
That's all of us, right? At the end of the day. Yeah. So it's there was a third part of it for us as well, which was kind of making sure it was something that couldn't be misused, which is where those definitions come in.
Yeah.
That talking with people and having champions in your communities to like remind people that, hey, we don't use this in a shitty way. It's not like it's not like something that we use to like coerce people into being something they're not.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Like just clearly defining, hey, we have this saying, this is what it means. This is not what it means. Like drawing lines in a community, as much as many people don't want to do it, it's extremely powerful, and it's going to strengthen the bonds of the people that you have, right? Actually, that's an interesting question, if you don't mind me going to chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it up, man.
So it's a set grouping of words that's written somewhere to bypass the possible language barrier. Yes and no, because one of the things that we haven't run into yet, but I'm kind of anticipating is the language barrier. Because as we're growing, we have more and more people from different backgrounds coming in where, saying do better or be better based on their upbringing and their kind of native tongue does mean something different. And so the definitions behind them, it does help with some of that, but that barrier is specifically where your champions come in. Your kind of tribal leaders, we'll call them, because this is very much like a lot of this is information is in the book Tribes that I mentioned. I think that was 2 episodes ago or 2 of my episodes ago. Talking about setting the box for what your tribe is, right? That goes into a lot of very, very streamer relevant details. I still highly recommend that book for a lot of people, because it does talk about, hey, I want to have a tribe of 20 people to hang out with, versus, hey, I want to commercialize my stream and like have hundreds of thousands of people, and some of the differences in how to set that up. But yeah, so boring words again from chat. It's leveling the playing field for people coming into your community to let them know what to expect, how to behave. Like we actually have a very limited rules posting because of this, because we have these guiding morals that I worked with my key players to build. We made sure it was very, very easy to define, very actionable, and that it was something that was hard to twist. Like that's kind of the 3 main things when you're coming up with these kind of calls to action, where you think about Nike, just do it. 3 words don't mean a lot. You think about it in the Nike context, shit tons of connotation there, and exactly what it means, right? That they're talking about just get out and do what you need to do. They're one of the best examples of something like this, where they have this single call to action that it's very simple. Like it's embedded in pretty much everybody's minds if Nike is sold locally. It's simple, it's actionable, and it's very hard to twist, right?
Yeah.
You say just do it, and that it's not necessary. It's not in a negative connotation, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you're basically just taking a message that means a lot to you specifically, and it happens to mean a lot to some people in your community, and kind of like making that like the moving, like the kind of movement of the community, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really cool, and I feel like that would definitely keep people more involved with that community, because if they do want to progress themselves as a person in any way, they'll probably want the reinforcement from the rest of the people in the community. I think that makes a lot of sense. That's really great. That's really great, because I know that like the three of us, like I've talked to both of you guys a lot recently about, you know, just self progression and, you know, all that kind of stuff, and just talking to other people that have the same mindset is huge. So just integrating that into your own community is really, really special. I really like the idea behind that for sure.
And you know, you get it on the right, and I'm going to toot my own horn here a little bit when people say, you know, you're kind of the king of X, right? You know, because there are several members of my community that are like, you know, and there's two sides to this, because they're like, I feel like I need to do more in my life, because like you're just the king of like learning new things, and I'm like, no, I listen to like a book a month at most, like that's I go at my own pace, and you know. That's a whole other side of it, is just expectation management, and that's not even simply to do with the call to action. That's just part of having a community, right? But yeah, that I think you summed it up very well there, right? You take something that's important to you, something you can embody and live, and you put it into words, explain it in a way that others can identify with and understand, and kind of all in one, it gives you this tool for building your tribe, you know, building out, you know, it puts the line in the sand of who's in your group and who's not, which to all human beings is extremely important. It's why a lot of streamers don't want to draw that line and wind up with, you know, very disconnected values. You know, you get a lot of very toxic people who, you know, who maybe originally started out very, very kind, very, very nice, but they let the community drive them instead of setting up these, you know, values and lines to say, hey, this is how we behave. This is what we're about. This is what we do. I can just blather about that for another hour, but
I mean, it's important stuff though. It's really important stuff, and I think it's something that everybody could kind of do. I don't think that, you know, like obviously you wouldn't like. I'm not going to go into it with the idea that I'm just going to do a do better, be better thing like he's doing. Like everybody has things that's specific to them, so use that, and you know, if it's authentic, it'll resonate really well. Just like his Discord, which I'm in almost every day, and it really is an amazing place to be, where people share their ideas or things they're progressing in. What do you think, Dogg?
Yeah, it's a very studied approach to something that that we spoke about in the past, about finding your identity. You know, I think it's very much about finding your identity and living that identity. You know, not being afraid to. This is obviously a far more studied and critical way of doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, but you know. I've seen it can be achieved as well. It's maybe a bit harder, you know what I mean, to do just by living who you are and being vocal about that out there and putting that out into the world. You know, the ideas that you believe in, because that's the thing. Again, I think, and I don't know if you touched on this, Pimz, but this is about people seeing and sharing your passion for the things that you believe in, you know, and it's really about helping people understand that and it all starts with identifying it and living it yourself, which is something that you know, personally it's something that I have used Twitch to be able to do, you know, to live my life the way I want it, you know, and so it's all very interesting. It's very interesting. I'll have to check out Tribes.
Yeah, and a lot of so I really appreciate the studied comment, because this is something I've been working on for years now, kind of unintentionally, with you know, going out and, you know, where it all started. You know, a book a month, very simple thing you can do to just be better, to put it in my own terms, right? You know, and it can be a book about anything. You know, you could go listen to Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, anything you enjoy, anything that enriches you in any way. That is a very strong starting point for a lot of this, because that's where you build the identity, right? That's where you you kind of find out who you want to represent yourself as, and who you and like start to leverage that on Twitch the way that the Dogg's talking about. Like it's a very simple thing.
Right. Nirvana's got a question. Could that be also seen as making a click, though, drawing the lines in the sand, or is it just more of a, if you want to join us, you need to be this kind to join?
It can go both ways. It really can, and very easily, right? Like that's because even within within BDE, we have, I have my siege squad, which is unintentionally very much a clique. We have a few people that play regularly, and we play at a level that kind of does actually exclude others unintentionally. But we do also take measures to make sure that, someone who hasn't played in 6 months can hop in and just like dick around with us, because why play games if you're not going to have fun? But the main focus of it is to be, hey, if you're like us, come be with us. Like that. That's your main goal. And the other side of it is, again, it comes down to like management of expectations. Making sure that if you don't want your community to be cliquey, you are actively working against cliques. That's a lot of that comes down to, and I keep bringing up, champions, right? Have those people that are enforcing your values the right way, the way that you want them enforced, which is where like a lot of mods come in. I've got my main moderators are someone who is as driven to improve as I am, and someone who is so wholeheartedly good. They're a nurse, and they're on the front lines during everything going on now, and they're still coming into the Discord and championing, being kind to each other. Like that kind of key player is what will help you keep your, hey, this is, if you're like us, come join us, from becoming a clique.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I think that's very important, is identifying people that share the values in the right way and will carry those values. And I mean, and that's moderators the whole way through, but even more so important when it comes to something like this, once I was able to identify people like that, my channel changed, it grew, and my community grew because of it. Because you can't always be there, you can't be 24/7 in your Discord for people, and somebody could come in at any time or could have any kind of issue, and you need to be confident and know that the people that are there when you're not are doing the exact same thing that you would be doing, and in the exact same way, because the consistency is something that is absolutely required to keep a community cohesive and to keep people believing in the community. We spoke about this last week. I think it was last week, about applying rules fairly and evenly across the board. This is the same thing. This is people seeing consistency. They're the same as the next person along, who's the same as the next person right down the line, because people respect that. And again, this is something that you were talking about, Pimz, talking about boundaries. We all like to think that we're all renegades and rogues, but the reality is we all like boundaries. Human beings love boundaries. They love to know where the boundaries are so that they can sometimes push them, of course, but at least it's a very safe knowledge, knowing that, okay, this is the space that we might operate in. So all of these things they're intertwined to one another.
I think boundaries really nicely ties a knot on what you're doing, right? It's another type of boundary alongside setting rules.
Yeah, absolutely. So how what has it done for you as far as like your confidence in this new passion of like doing better and being better? How has that just helped you, I guess, as a streamer, knowing that you have a community that backs you in this, and then just as a person that's trying to do better and be better, how has it helped you with just doing that, with other people, kind of to reinforce the same idea that you're, you know what I mean?
So it's actually it's funny because it's become a bit of a it's a bit of a cycle for me. Because now I'm kind of secure enough that I'm going, okay, what do I actually want to do with like making content? What's my focus? What do I want to do? Because I know that there are people that will have my back regardless.
Mhm.
It makes it very easy to make content that you're happy to be making, as well as the whole side of um, helping other people do things that they want to do. We have a lot of people that are so. The one couple in my community is getting into dice making. That has been fantastic to watch, and
Mhm.
then that is just a fascinating thing in and of itself, to learn about. And so that has been something where maybe I didn't expect to be interested in learning about it, but they have been a good channel for me, to learn from them about a lot of the process there. And then I've been able to take some of my knowledge from woodworking, metalworking, just generally working with materials. So part of my previous education is I took mechanical engineering for a couple of years. So I have a lot of weird manufacturing knowledge, and so some of that actually that I enjoyed, because I was going to become a manufacturing engineer at the end of that. Um, a lot of that came through, and it's like, hey, while you're polishing those, try this method, and they're like, holy crap, this is the shiniest dice I've ever made. It's like I helped. It's all about establishing those feedback loops when it comes to that side of things.
Mhm.
It's the same thing as like when we chat. It's like, hey, so here's my thoughts on something. It's like, okay, so tell me more about this. Okay, here's what I think. And I'm actually trying to work on that because I think I word what I think poorly sometimes, um, to a point that it might put people kind of on their heels. Um, but yeah, that's like um, it's all about the cycles, right? Like we're looking at establishing cycles of sharing interests and being able to unabashedly say, because I trust these people, like show interest in their things and not worry about rejection because this is my tribe, right?
Right.
And that's one of the strongest things that ties back to Dogg's comment about being on Twitch to practice being a certain kind of person, right? Which a lot of people are doing. A lot of people are on Twitch with social anxiety, looking for people like them that they can kind of get into a tribe with, get into a group with, and just like start to heal, start to learn how to be the person they want to be. And so from the content side, having those feedbacks loops let you try new things. Uh, you could do music jams in your Discord. You can,
Mhm.
one of the things that I tried that I was like, we have 100 members in the Discord, and I'm like, you know what? We'll give this a go. Is monthly meetings, sitting down and talking about what we're doing in the Discord. And I have 15 people most months out of the 100, which is absolutely amazing. And like that's 15% of my population that just shows up, whether they have something to contribute or not, just to be with the people there. Um, and,
That's fucking
and
cool.
these things just feed into each other, right? Like it's a wonderful little system that just um, it very much concentrates the energy of a
Mhm.
community. Like I think we do more as a group of 100 than we would as 1,000, and I'm very content with that. I'm very happy with that. And it means that as we get up past the 100 into the 200 to 300 area that I'm kind of aiming for, this should stay very stable, and it should stay very safe. I can, if I don't like how something is being handled in the Discord, anyone can say anything, really.
Mhm.
um because of that loop again of, hey, we're here to be better in every aspect that we can. Obviously I'm not going to get taller. I'll never be like one of our guys is 9'27". I'll never be that tall. It's an exaggeration, I promise.
I think that racked my brain for a second, dude. Oh my god,
6'8" is the actual. It's such a meme that I've forgotten how tall he actually is.
He's just a giraffe or a skyscraper or something at this point.
Basically a skyscraper.
My friend Carl, he's 6'10". He's the largest person I know. 6'10".
Yeah, I think you have him beat on that one. That's a very large man. But yeah, it's one of those things where you establish a safe space for yourself and others to know with some security that you can do the things you enjoy, and you can have very, very positive interactions, even if it is feedback, right?
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I think, what do you call it as well, what you're saying about the monthly meetings? I think that's something that I know not a lot of streamers do, but it can take the form of monthly meetings, but also gaming as well. Like getting group gaming, and I think it's something that I see a lot of streamers not taking advantage of. This is how you really build real solid connections with people and amongst people in your community. This is how you form real solid bonds, enjoying things together, spending real free time together. When we're on stream, when we're entertaining, it's us, but it's not really us in our natural environment, where we're comfortable, we're not thinking about all the things we need to think about, and where we can be really relaxed, and where everybody can feel relaxed as well, and they're also not on stream, because some people might not want to come and play games with you on stream. They'll be more than willing to play with you off stream. But I think these kind of things, movie nights, meetings, game nights, these are really important for building the real strong bonds out with I know this person on Twitch, or I know this person on YouTube. This is, we sat and we watched that, we had a laugh, and then we were speaking about this because of that, and I found out this about them. And all of a sudden, people, their lives are beginning to, intertwine in ways that they want. This is what people want. People want to make connections, and the vast majority of people on Twitch, that's what they're there for. They're there to meet people that have the same interests, the same drives and goals. So take advantage of that. It's because it's enjoyable as well. These are great times. Our movie nights, our game, our off-stream game times. I love them. They're some of the best laughs I have.
And they're incredibly powerful things because, for us, when we have our meetings, there's always the conversation of, hey, do you guys want to put together an Among Us night, like officially, instead of just, throwing one together randomly? And it's like, and then that spins into, hey, let's also do a Friendsgiving at the end of the month, which is like something I would not have ever thought to do. And it's like, oh crap, these guys, this thing is starting to feel itself.
Yeah,
it gives these incredible pathways, like you say, for people to connect and be like, hey, let's do a thing. We have a common interest. Let's do that.
Right.
And it makes a huge difference. Huge difference. Kind of on this engagement level that you can't necessarily get by just streaming, just making videos.
Yeah, exactly.
My camera freaking out? What's going on?
No, you're good.
I blame Vince. I'm blaming Vince 100%. But yeah, dude, thanks for talking about that, man. That's awesome. Chat, if you guys have any questions about building something for you and your community to kind of just start, I just lost the word I was looking for. If you have any questions for Pimz, please let us know. We'll while he's here, we'll definitely get to him right away. I know that Saki's kid had a question. Was just wondering, how should a small streamer handle a larger viewer base? Vince, stop. One of my biggest fears is having someone raid me with 30 people and I miss out on a big opportunity to keep those viewers, and they just slowly trickle away and never come back to the stream. Thanks for any answers. Well, one, I didn't see what Vince was typing. I'm sure it was a compliment to me. And two,
oh, you're sure? Yeah.
I'm so sure about it, dude. Okay, but so how should a small streamer handle a larger viewer base? Honestly, the first time for me, it threw me way off. I've had a few pretty decent sized raids, And the first time it was just a lot of swearing and saying thank you, and it didn't go well. So I would say the best thing you could do when you get a raid that's larger than you're expecting or that you've ever seen is to just react naturally, have some fun with it, and then just continue your stream, because at the end of the day, I mean, it's your stream just like any other day. The only thing is you might have a lot more people there. We'll go with Pimz on this one.
Yeah, that's one of the things you don't want to do, is kind of put on something that you wouldn't normally put on. Like don't suddenly become a different streamer because you have 150 people from another channel coming in, because you ultimately want people to stay for what they'll see. There's only so much that you can do to keep people, right? That's kind of the nature of Twitch. That's why growth can be either on one end completely explosive and unhandleable, or trickle. Like it can be very much a trickle. But I think gratitude is one of the biggest things to show. You can really just
I know Vince is really trying to fuck with us today. Honestly, Pimz wasn't the issue, it was Vince the whole day. It's been Vince all day.
It's one of those things where just showing gratitude, establishing this is a bit of a contested verbiage for this, but establishing some social credit with people, showing gratitude, thanking someone, it starts this cycle again. That's just kind of my themes for today. It's just cycles and reciprocation. Being thankful will keep the people that feel that you're genuinely grateful for them there for longer, and give you more of a chance to stick with it. And that's the important thing. And lots of people will talk about, hey, have a 30-second intro of who you are and what you do, and it doesn't have to be the same every time. It's not like a YouTube. You're not LEA. Don't do the same thing every time. You can have a blend of authenticity and kind of preparedness, right? Where you say, hey, my name's Pimz. I play Rainbow Six Siege, ranked 2 times a week. If we focus on having good comms, we focus on good communication. Boom. That's who I am. Thank you for rating. I really appreciate everybody here. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. And I would welcome you to join us and maybe contribute to some call outs if you know this game really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Dog, how about you, man? How should a small streamer handle a large viewer base?
Well, I mean, you've covered quite a bit of it here. I definitely think just being yourself, having an intro is a good thing. I have an intro for every new follower. It's pretty short. I use it to get conversation going with them. I tell them my name, I tell them where I'm from, and I ask them where they're from. And you've got the opportunity now to get a conversation started. They tell you where you're from, you start talking about that. That's cool, But a couple of things. So there's a few things. First off, when you get a big raid, like a really big raid, understand that the trickle-off effect is going to happen regardless. Even if you're doing brilliant, and even if you're entertaining them all, right? And because the reason being is a whole lot of these people have been watching the streamer that they want to watch, and now they're finished, and they've got other things to do. And that's just life. That's just, So don't be worried. When you see the trickle-off, it's going to happen, right? So don't panic about that. Don't let that get to you. Just understand that these people were taking part in the raid so that you can have a nice raid, but they've got to take the dog out, or they've got to make the dinner, or whatever it is that they've got to get done. But the other thing is as well, this ties back to what Pimz was talking about champions, your mods, your selected people. When you have a big raid, especially some of the size raids that Velok's had, this is where you really need your mods. Not just to step in, not necessarily to step in to moderate chat, but more to be taking up some of the strain of talking to some of the people in the chat, carrying on some conversations with people so that you're not left looking and thinking, there's so much chat happening. How do I keep talking to people? You know, at that point, you know, mods can fill in some of the blanks of some of maybe the questions that are being asked that they know the answers to, that you always get asked, those kind of things. You know, this is where your community that is there already, it becomes important and welcoming, and dealing with the volume of people that are now in your chat. But the main thing, have fun. Yeah. This is what you're on stream for. This is what you're doing it for. You're doing it in the hope that one day you can have these huge numbers watching you. So enjoy it, because they are watching you now, you know. So you will be nervous, and that's fine. It's fine, you know, it's going to happen. But just try to remember that this is what we're doing it for. You know, we're doing it so that we can entertain a whole bunch of people, and now there's a whole bunch of people there for you, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And like he was saying, there will be a trickle, and also you're not going to get you might not get any return viewers from that raid, because I mean, they got their own like schedule that they go by, and they got their specific streamers that they watch, and at that time they probably don't want to stray away from those streamers. Maybe they'll check you out a couple weeks down the road every once in a while, but for the most part, that like they're in that community, and that's where they're probably going to stay. You know what I mean? It does help you for that stream, though. It helps you get exposure to more people because it puts you up higher in the directory, obviously. So don't forget that. Just because there aren't people from that raid that are currently talking, they're still helping you. So you should still be in a good mood. You know what I mean? Don't be bummed out by lurkers, because those lurkers are still putting you up higher, making you more easily discoverable. So at the end of the day, really more people are finding you on that day. So if you get bummed out because nobody's talking, then the people that are showing up are like, why does he have so many viewers, or why do they have so many viewers, and why are they not talking? And why is nobody talking? So think about that. Also,
sorry to one last thing. This is, if someone big like that raids you, this is your chance to then go into their chat after, like on the next stream that they have, and talk to the people that you were in, that you recognize that were in your chat. You know, you were talking to whatever, you know, the person's name is. You see them in that chat now. Hey, how you doing? How's it going? Like, make that connection now on another place as well. And now you've really made, you know, oh, I remember you. You know, you've done it, you've spoken to the person 2 different places. You're far more likely for the person to be like, oh, I remember you, and we're talking away, we're part of this community. And by doing so, you're not guaranteeing, but again, you're increasing your chances that they will come back to the stream because you've made that extra effort, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, Saki's kit. Wait, that's a great idea. Making a lot of connections with people that joined through the raid and with the streamer that raided you. Yeah, absolutely. Make sure to hit him up and say thanks. Okay, so yeah, hopefully we helped you out with that, Saki. So if you have any further questions, let us know. One thing that I wanted to talk about today, I think both of these guys are going to agree with, especially Pimz, because obviously he said that it's taken this long to get the Discord together and everything. But one thing that a lot of streamers or content creators, or really just anybody, one thing that they don't really do is give yourself time to think about like things that you could be doing, or, you know, because if you're always streaming, you're never being productive. Like streaming just isn't as productive as making content on another platform. Literally everybody has said that. Harris Heller talks about it in probably every video by now. But yeah, just giving yourself time to think about what you're going to do on another platform. You can think about it and say, oh, I want to actually, like, I want to do YouTube or whatever. You can say that all day, but until you start thinking about ideas and going in and finding videos on YouTube that you resonate with and things that you see yourself making, then you're not really doing yourself any favors. You have to set aside the time to just brainstorm on things that you like and things that you could potentially do to get traction on another platform to bring those people over to Twitch. Because just growing on Twitch, it does not work. I can prove you that for sure. Let's go with Pimz on this one.
Yeah, this is something. So for me, I've never streamed 7 days a week. I know I don't have the energy for that. I think the most I got up to was 5 days a week, maybe. And even then, it was a couple hours a day. Because there's an extremely important factor that we covered earlier of engagement outside of stream. You know, if all you ever do is stream and all you ever do is like you stream, you tweet, then you just disappear. You know, you're missing the opportunity to strengthen and create bonds very regularly. You know, and that's one of the things where, you know, taking the time to go work on something other than your stream both lets you mentally reset and lets you think about different ways to present yourself. You know, so when it comes to making YouTube videos, you know, that's where a lot of the first sparks of, you know, hey, I'm really going to focus on like shot calling and good calls, right? A lot of that for me comes from making YouTube videos, because one of the things that I noticed through editing is, hey, we do really well when we know where the hell people are. You know, and that's one of the things that's very, very Siege is, you know, you have to know where to look, or you're just going to get shot in the back of the head. And so taking that time to work on other content outside of Twitch then establishes another cycle for you to continue to improve your content. Gives you an opportunity to make a very rad intro video based on clips of stuff you do on and off stream. You know, that's actually one thing I think a lot of people are missing out, because one of the first streamers that I watched when I was first getting onto Twitch always had a unique intro and outro, and it changed like every 2 months. It was the same general structure, but the actual content of it would change. And that was something that you definitely wouldn't be able to put together if all you were doing was streaming. And it's one of those things that lets you build out who you are as a person. You know, you can go onto Twitter, go on a rant about coffee, go on Instagram and go on a rant about, you know, no, that's a bad thing to go on a rant on. I was gonna say titty streamers, but that's a whole.
You go on a rant about how much better Trump is than Biden. It's a joke. I'm joking here. Everybody, stop! Don't be offended, people. It's a joke. I voted for Biden. I'll tell you that right now.
You know, it's that whole. I'm completely derailed now.
I'm sorry. Oh my
God. This was a great show.
Hashtag, yeah.
Cancel Velokk. Yeah, hashtag cancel Velokk. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Trump 2020.
Wow, it's like crazy. It's called in. It is indeed.
Was it that bad? I don't know anymore. Oh my god, but Pimz, I'm sorry to do that to you, man. And I just got canceled by Vince. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you're canceled. You're off the show.
Clipped and long tweet coming.
Oh my god. All right, Dog, what do you think about this, man? Oh my god.
Wait, what's the topic again? I'm sorry.
Oh, apologies. Making time for you to figure out what you were going to do on another platform.
Look, you know, again, this is something that we kind of spoke about again last week about streaming too much. It's not, whatever way you look at it, you know, streaming 8 hours a day, 5 or 6 days a week is great for Ninja, and it's great for Shroud, and it's great because they get money. The longer they stream, the more money they get. But that, you know, but that just doesn't work out for anybody that isn't like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not working out like that. So, and if that's your goal to get there, you know, you can, if you work smartly to begin with, you can get to the point where all you're doing is playing games 8 hours a day on stream, you know. But you can't just jump to the end point unless you're like incredibly good at the game that you're playing, incredibly unique, or you're like a pro player or something plugged in, you know, like such and such pro player for whatever, plugged in. There you go. Yeah. These are the only routes, you know, where you're going to go to the end, the end game of it, if you will, if you want to look at it like that. You have to do the different things that are required to set yourself up. You know, last week we were using Jambo as an example of the idea of building community, building your own community, being integral parts of other streamers' communities and the wider Twitch community. Like this, you know, that is a far more Look, you're going to have more success following that route with building your stream than you are streaming 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. It's just, it's a fact. You know, it's just a fact. Because who cares if you're just an average player, and you know, I play Siege as well, Pimz. If you're an average Siege player, right? If you're a gold player, you know, whatever, lower than that, right? You know, and gold's average, remember?
Yeah.
If you're an average gold player, right? Who's coming to watch you play Siege? Who's coming to watch you for the plays? Right? Sure, you might get some people that are hard stuck in copper that are like, oh wow, you're really good at this game, you know? But at the end of the day, if people are going to watch plays, they're going to watch pro players, they're going to watch the top tier content creators for that game. And that's just a fact, you know? You have to play smart. You have to work smart, you know? You have to build your community. You have to work hard doing all the groundwork, laying out all the groundwork. That for the big streamers, that for the pros that just jump in, that just happens, and other people have to sort it out run about them. You know, like their champions sort that out for them, you know, while they're going and doing the other thing. But you have to do that yourself, because right now nobody else is coming in to do that for you. They need to see that you're doing it. They need to see the drive and the motivation and the productivity from you, and be like, yo, you know, I want to be involved in this. I want to help with this. I'll help with that. I'll do this. That's how people get on board. That's how the you know, you're going to grow your channel and grow your community, which the reality is for people, that's the way you're going to get big on Twitch. Grow a community. Forget being the next Symphony. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to be them. Forget it, you know? Forget being Dogg. You're not going to be them, right? You're just not going to be them. Build your community. Build your people around about you. Build something that even if you don't make it, you've still built something that's worth having. You've still built a community that supports one another, that is there for one another, that shares ideas and good times and bad times. But you've built something that's actually worth having, even if you don't make it to be a big streamer or a Twitch partner. You know, you've actually made something real and substantial that you can actually have for years to come if you look after it. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, forget 7 days a week. Forget long streams. 4-hour streams, that's your zone. 4-hour streams, that's it. It's perfect for you. By the time you're finished that, you're kind of hungry. So you know, like, you go get something to eat. You don't need to eat on stream. You can spend your time being you, energetic. You know, that's your wheelhouse. That's how you gain traction and be involved in Twitch communities, not just your own, other people's, the communities of the people that are in your community, and the wider Twitch community. You're a Siege streamer, you're involved in the Siege community. You know, you're a Minecraft, you're involved in Minecraft. Whatever it is, you become known in that community. That's how you grow. So when people do see your name on the live, oh, I know who that is. I'll pop in.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's going to be it for today. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of StreamKey. We really appreciate you guys. So we'll be back next Monday, not 9. I always say 9. I don't know why. 11 a.m. EST next Monday. Pimz, thanks for being on the show, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for talking more about the tribe mentality and everything. That was awesome. And thanks for doing it on the spot too, because I kind of just like, here you go, dude. And then I interrupted you with the Trump thing later, and you know, I blame Vince for it. Dude. Yeah, man, Vince is crazy with the editing. He's doing it live, dude. But everybody, please make sure to go hit up Pimz with some love. I would highly appreciate it. Pimz, where can they find you, and what can they expect when they get there?
So for shit posts and talking about coffee, my Twitter at PimzTV. For everything else, Pimz.tv. It'll take you to my YouTube. That's going to be my focus for the next like 6 months or so. Videos and live streaming will be there. You know, playing Siege, like I said, I'm working on kind of building some expertise with callouts. I'm planning on making a video about it soon, because we actually have a system with my team for how to create callouts that work for us. That borrows a little bit from how Pro League callouts are structured, and that will only be relevant until someone comes up with a universal list of all callouts in Siege, which I think there's something coming early next year, but I'm gonna do it anyway because it's been extremely helpful for us.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Please make sure to go hit Pimz up with some love. If you don't, I'll ban you. You guys know the rules. Dogg Gaming, thanks again for being a great co-host, my dude. Where can people find you, and what can they expect when they get there?
Well, I'm Dogg_gaming on Twitch and Dogg Gaming on all other platforms. And when you, as I say every week, I am a variety FPS streamer getting back into Siege after having a year out from the CPU bug. I'm back though. I'm back slaying. So there you go. Anyway, yes, variety FPS streamer focusing on having a healthy and supportive community that is there to help people if they have mental health issues. This is a safe space that you can come and talk to people in and understand that people will accept you for who you are and not judge you, and just all having a good time. That's that's basically it. So
that's awesome. So you guys know the deal with that. Go hit them up with some love, or I think that just means that you get like what is it called when you get kicked out of the country? Deported. You're gonna get deported. Sorry, dude. Not my rules, man. I'm Velokk_TV on everything. I'm gonna be getting more into story games. FPS games are kind of pissing me off. And yeah, I'm just kind of trying to spread positivity and just help everybody see the good in things, even when life gets real bad. Because life can get bad, but you should stay good. That's my slogan. I don't like it. But have a great day, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Love you. And with Dogg.
Blaze it.
Hell yeah, dude.